Welcome to Melrose Unitarian Universalist Church. Our service today is called Bridging, Blessing Them Onward. Good morning. It's a beautiful, almost summer day, and I hope that you will be able to get out and enjoy it soon enough. I'm the Reverend Dr. Suzanne Intriligator. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. Here at Melrose UU, we strive to be a spiritual community for this moment, to honor many paths to truth, and to remember that issues of justice and equity shape all that we do. We welcome all of who you are into worship as we build together a community of courage, love, and hope. Helping me today is our worship technician, Josh Miller, and our chat box host, Adrian Wood. Newcomers are always welcome with us. If you'd like more information about our church, please see our website. Adrian will share the link in the chat box now. Feel free to stay afterward for our virtual coffee hour so you can get to know us better if you like. Our church building, where I am now, sits on lands that are the home of the Pawtucket and the Massachusetts people. We acknowledge our difficult history and we seek to address it by advocating for Native issues via the Massachusetts Indigenous Agenda. Adrian has that link and she'll put it there now if you want to know more about that. Now, our board president, Dan Griscom, has a couple of announcements for us this morning. Are you with us, Dan?
Yes, I am. Good morning. General Assembly is going to be this June. It's going to be virtual, June 23rd to 27th. And we need delegates. Carol Nestor has kindly agreed to be a delegate, but we need more. And the board has funds to pay for people's admissions. So please, if you are interested in being a delegate, our delegate to General Assembly, please contact either me or Carol Nestor. And second, we are going to be having another Pine Banks gathering this afternoon from 2 to 4. This time we'll be at the parking area, the park area near where the drummers are. So they may or may not be playing until 2:30. So if you don't mind, if you don't want to talk loud, you may want to show up at 2:30. But I will be there. See you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much. I just want to remind everyone that tonight at 8 is the third and last for this season live installment of the web series that we are co-sponsoring called Opening Doors, Race, Conversation, and Song. Tonight, Alistair hosts country music star Reese Palmer, who was recently profiled in the New York Times. Like the others, it's sure to be a really good show. Watching it live is fun, but it's also great to watch taped wherever you want. It's available on demand. Next Sunday right here, we'll have a special guest preacher, C.B. Beale. Many of you will remember that C.B. visited us in February, talking about the power of bearing witness to one another. Next Sunday, they return to talk about preemptive radical inclusion, the idea why it's important to structure our community so that all people feel welcome here, even before they arrive. This conversation is especially important as we consider how we will go about welcoming people back into our building in the fall. I hope you'll join us. CB is one of a kind worship leader, so it'll be a great service. And now for today's service, also amazing. Once a year, we set aside an entire Sunday to celebrate our graduating seniors and, by extension, everyone who is moving through a life transition. This year, given the upheaval of the pandemic, maybe that's all of us. Maybe all of us are now transitioning to a new world. We're learning that life has more than just a forward trajectory. Sometimes we feel like we are going in circles or spirals. Sometimes we feel like we're growing in fits or starts, or we just feel stuck for a long time. Today is a reminder that all of those are part of the whole. All of it contributes to our becoming. Today, instead of hearing from just me, we will hear many voices, and it might be a little bit tricky as we spotlight different people, a little bit bumpy, but that's how life is, right? Instead of a sermon, there will be three short homilies, one from our amazing Director of Religious Education, Katie Campbell, who constructed most of this service and deserves most of the credit for it. Plus, there'll be 2 short mini homilies, statements from our bridging youth themselves, Julia Foley and Zayden Viola. Then we'll watch a video of the beautiful bridging ceremony that many of you helped us stage last week in the park. And then we'll finish the service today with a litany of blessings and promises for our youth as they go forth with their lives. It will be beautiful, so stick with us. Just a reminder that the windows are open here in the sanctuary, so it might be a little bit noisier than usual. Let's get going. Let's see who's here with us this morning. It's time to switch to gallery view and scroll through the windows, wave hi, and send all your virtual hugs to people. Good morning. Oh, Robert and Phyllis, the Blacklocks are here. It's good to see you. Yay. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Oh, good. Dan and Beth are here. They're singing to us this morning. I'm glad to see them here. The Foldies have arrived. Yay. Hi, everybody. Good morning. I hope you have air conditioning or a nice fan on wherever you are and you're going to stay cool today. Thanks for making worship part of your Sunday. Now, Katie has our call to worship.
Our call to worship today is called Song of the Universe. It was written by Reverend Manish K. Mishra Marzetti, who is our minister in Ann Arbor. It has been edited a bit for length. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Listen carefully. Can you still hear the song? The one sung for you when you were born? The song sung by a cosmos in motion, rejoicing at your life. Listen carefully. Can you hear it still? A song of possibility, a reminder that we still have time to be who and what we need to be. Listen carefully. The vast expanse echoes of recognition that it's not always easy. Roads not taken, wrong turns, destinations that disappoint. Through this, the song persists. The music calls us to recognize that the song is best sung with others. Here in community, bringing alive that most primordial and original impulse, the desire to sing to the universe who we are, to celebrate and share our lives with others.
Thank you, Katie. And now, along with UUs everywhere, I light the symbol of our faith, the flaming chalice. And as I do so, I invite you to light a candle at home if you would like, perhaps the one you received from our caring team recently. This morning, our chalice lighting reading will be given by Ellie Ferris, who is a wonderful member of our high school youth group. This year, Ellie is also serving in a leadership role in the whole denomination. She is the Junior Youth Worship Coordinator at this year's GA. She will be organizing and facilitating the youth-centered worships at all of this year's online General Assembly. We are really proud of you, Ellie, and this important work that you're doing. Go ahead.
We call forth the life of our faith by igniting our chalice. The spark of new beginnings invites us into a sacred space to reflect where we have been and where we are going. Even knowing that this particular flame will intentionally end with our ritual extinguishing, we fear not its end, for we know, with brave hearts, that from every ending of our lives, we are sent forth to make a new beginning.
Thank you, Ellie. Wonderful. Now for our opening hymn, you might recall that for last year's bridging service, which we thought was our first and last one on Zoom, I asked the whole congregation to send in high school photos, and 40 of you contributed. This year I asked again just to see if anybody new wanted to pitch in. And this year we added some new music to go underneath it. So for today's opening hymn, we will hear We Are, one of our favorite hymns, performed by our choir just this week. And then the visuals will be a blast from the past, Your Young Faces. Enjoy.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we grandmother's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
Well, that was really fun. Now to lead us in our covenant this morning is one of our bridging youth, Zayden Viola. Zayden?
Hello. Just start whenever. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is in sacrament, and service is prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. This is our great covenant, one with another and with our God.
Thank you, Zayden. And now a story. This is DRE Katie's version of a story called What Do You Do with a Chance by Kobe Yamada.
One day, I got a chance. It just seemed to show up. It acted like it knew me, as if it wanted something. I didn't know why it was here. What do you do with a chance? I wondered. It fluttered around me, it brushed up against me, it circled me as if it wanted me to grab it. I started to reach out for it, but I was unsure and pulled back. And so it flew away. I thought about it a lot. I wished I had taken my chance. I realized I had wanted it, but I still didn't know if I had the courage. When another chance came around, I wasn't so sure, but I decided to try. I went to reach for it, but I missed and fell. It seemed like everyone was looking at me. I decided I never wanted to feel this way again. So after that, whenever a chance came along, I ignored it. And the more I ignored them, the less they came around. Until one day, I noticed that I hadn't seen a chance in quite a while. It was as if they had all disappeared. I started to worry. What if I don't get another chance? I know I acted like I didn't care, but the truth was, I did. I still wanted to take a chance, but I was afraid. And I wasn't sure if I would ever be brave enough. Then I thought, maybe I don't have to be brave all the time. Maybe I just need to be brave for a little while at the right time. I realized it was up to me. I promised myself that if I ever got another chance, I wasn't going to hold back. If I got another chance, I was going to be ready. Then, one seemingly ordinary day, I saw something shining far off in the distance. Is it possible? I hoped. Could this be my chance? I had to find out. I ran as hard and as fast as I could toward it. I don't know how to explain it, but the second I let go of my fears, I was full of excitement. It wasn't that I was no longer afraid, but now my excitement was bigger than my fear. As I got closer, I could see that this was a really huge chance. But this time, I was ready. As it came by, I reached out and grabbed it. I held on with all my might. It felt so good to soar, to fly, to be free. I now see, when I hold back, I miss out. And I don't want to miss out. There's just so much I want to see and do and discover. So what do you do with a chance? You take it, because it just might be the start of something incredible.
Great story, Katie. Thank you. Now, let us breathe in and out together. Let's feel our bodies settle into our chairs. Let's make space for quiet and for peace. To begin our meditation time this morning, we'll join in our centering song, which for May is "This Is Home." After we sing, we sit together for a few minutes of shared silence. Then we speak to one another of our joys and sorrows, and then I will lead us in a meditation. Please settle into your chair and breathe, and join in our centering song, which is led this week by Beth Harris and Dan Franklin.
Hi, everyone. So our centering song this month is called "This Is Home," and it's by Sophia Eftimiou. I will lead it. It's an echo song. I'm going to lead, and Dan is going to be my echo. And you're invited to sing along with Dan. And the lyrics are also in the chat window for you if you want. This is home.
This is home,
Where I belong.
where I belong.
In this breath.
In this breath,
In this heart.
in this heart,
is home,
This is home,
where I belong.
where I belong.
In this voice,
In this voice,
in this song.
in this song.
Now, as we do every week, we share with one another the joys and sorrows of our lives so that we might bear witness to one another's life story. First, if you have a sorrow to share today, please type it into the chat box and I will read them aloud. From Mary D., a candle of care and concern. My dear friend Carolyn is in her 4th week of hospice care. When I told her a few weeks ago, it made her so happy to know that I lit a candle, so I do it again today. From Jane and Chuck Foley, a candle for Jane's cousin Joanne, who will undergo surgery on Friday for thyroid cancer. From Gretchen, a candle of concern for my brother's wife, Cindy, whose metastatic breast cancer has spread to her lungs. She has begun 6 months of chemotherapy. Please keep her in your thoughts. From Lisa and John, a candle of concern for some disappointing news this week. Are there any other sorrows? Hearing none, I ask us now to take a moment together to hold all these sorrows next to our hearts in compassion. Let us remember to reach out to any who are hurting and offer support and help. I now light one more candle as a beacon of care for all the sorrows spoken and unspoken today. And now the joys. Which joys would you like to share? Please type them into the chat box and I will read them aloud. From Joyce, a joyous candle for 6 normal days, especially when a swarm of 4th graders came into the community garden, planted the seedlings they had grown at school, and then left with tons of spirit. That sounds great. From Carol Viola, we are so proud of Zayden and wish him a great future. From Paul and Michelle, joy, we have adopted a rescue dog, Lila, she's a sweetie. Lisa and John, a candle of joy for all of us being fully vaccinated, and for John and Lisa's 18th wedding anniversary. From Corey, after nearly 18 months of unemployment, I will be starting a new position on June 1st. I am excited to get started. Hooray. From Adrian, thankful for sundress wearing weather. From Alexandra Leach, very grateful to be fully vaccinated and for the warm weather. From Dan Griscom, a joy. My sister and her family will be joining Connor, Andrew, Mary Beth, and me at the cabin in Maine that we've been going to for 50 years. From the Tashoni Noto family, joy. James and Lillian will be going back to in-person learning on June 1st. We are so happy. From the Weinberg family, joy. Ethan and Heather got to see their grandparents for the first time in over a year. And from Jane and Chuck, joy for Julia at the start of her new journey. From my husband, James, he's enjoying bike riding for the first time in years. Yes, it is beautiful bike riding weather. So many joys. Are there any more? Okay, well, I ask us, I bid you thank you. Thank you for everyone who has shared with us joys or who are holding joys in their hearts. By sharing them, you connect us to one another's stories and you rekindle our hope and our joy in living. I light now one more candle to shine out our thanks for all the many blessings in our lives. When our life path gets rocky or feels like it's all uphill, it's good to have in your pocket some ancient words, some meditative words that have been opening hearts for centuries. They might calm your nerves and invite in peace. So I invite us to join together today in an updated form of the ancient Buddhist metta meditation. First, please breathe deeply and relax into your chair. Feel your feet connect with the floor. Feel your body in the chair. And if you like, repeat after me. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole. Amen. And now our other bridging youth will introduce the offertory. Julia, go ahead.
Hello. Now is the time for our offertory. I remind you that we are an independent, self-supporting community organization. We receive no outside funding. That's why your pledges are so important. You may also contribute to our collection plate, which we split with a deserving cause. For May, our giving partner, chosen by our high school youth group, is Housing Families, which helps homeless folks in nearby Malden. This month, half of our collection plate will go to Housing Families. I invite you to donate using the orange button in the top right corner of our homepage at melroseuu.org.
Thank you, Julia. And now for the offertory music with an introduction from music director Tara Tresner-Kirsch.
The offertory this morning was created by my friend and colleague, Benji Messer. Benji is the music director of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Phoenix, Arizona, and he created this video with voices from all over the state. They dedicate this song with love to all the youth in our congregations who are reaching the end of their school year that both began and ended in the COVID-19 pandemic. Please enjoy the circle game.
Yesterday a child came out to wander,
caught a dragonfly inside a jar.
fearful when the sky was full of thunder,
and tearful at the falling of a star.
and the seasons they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, skated over 10 clear frozen streets. Words like, when you're older, must appease them, and promises of someday make their dreams. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game.
16 springs and 16 summers gone now.
Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town. And we tell them, take your time, it won't be long now.
Till you drag your feet to slow the circles down.
And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time.
I'm so happy that here with us today to do our reading is Emma Lambiaso, who bridged last year and is just finishing up her first year at Syracuse. Thank you, Emma.
Thanks, Katie. Our reading today is by Kendall Gibbons. None of us can provide all the answers you will need as your life unfolds. We know that the greatest joys and the highest satisfactions are given to those who are faithful to their ideals, their promises, and their friends. It does not matter if the world looks with disdain or suspicion upon the gifts you bring, give them anyway. In the end, you must answer to your own conscience. Trust yourself and strive to be worthy of trust. Remember, all that lives must die, and do not fear to love, but embrace grief when it comes to you. You will never know everything, but in the persistent desire to learn more, wisdom will grow. To do what you know is wrong, or to cause pain needlessly, will always damage you in the long run. The more you look for the best in others, the more you will find it. Be of good courage, willing to do your share of the world's work, and remember that you are greatly loved. Congrats, Julia and Zayden.
Bridging is a celebration of this huge transition in the lives of our young people. It is an opportunity to look back to where we've been and a promise to support them as they journey onward. A bridge, after all, is what gets you across the gap, the liminal space between one thing ending and another thing beginning. Because beginnings and endings always go hand in hand. For us, the bridge to help our youth through this transition, going from the ending of their childhood to the beginning of young adulthood, is the promise of our community bearing witness and sharing in their lives. And it is everything that our young people have learned on their journey thus far. There's this quote from Anais Nin on the very first page of Becoming, a collection of readings and poems that we give our youth when they bridge. It says, "We do not grow absolutely, chronologically. We grow sometimes in one dimension and not in another, unevenly. We grow partially. We are relative. We are mature in one realm, childish in another. The past, present, and future mingle and pull us backward, forward, or fix us in the present. We are made of layers, cells, constellations." I adore this conception of how we grow, because growth is not a linear path. We are never truly done growing. There will always be something to learn and lessons that the universe insists we revisit. I have been in my own life transition the past year and a half, and it has brought me back to a familiar place where I can look back on all my other major life transitions, including that feeling of being 18 and graduating high school. And yet, as familiar as the place is, it is not the same, because I am not the same. I think that's what Joni Mitchell is talking about in the circle game, which we heard for our offertory today. Life will take us around to where we can see certain parts of our lives in this new light of what we now know after having gone around the carousel again. We can't go back to undo anything that has already been done, but we can take what we learn from that pull backward to figure out what we're going to do next. The lesson the universe seems to want me to relearn right now is that grief and joy can and often do coexist during these life transitions. Feeling the sadness and disappointment that life brings isn't easy. It can be really tempting to push it aside in favor of forging ahead. Or we might get bogged down in the sadness and miss out on the beauty of our current moment. We must remember that it is just as important to honor the grief of the ending, the letting go, as it is to celebrate the joy and excitement of the next chapter. On this journey we call life, there will be chances that you don't take and you later wish you did. Chances that you reach for and fall on your face. Chances that you grab hold of only to realize it's not at all what you want. Since we are all still growing unevenly, as Anais Nin said, we all still have chances left. My hope for all of us, but especially our young people, is that we can be gentle with ourselves when the chances don't go our way or disappoint, that we allow ourselves to feel the pain and learn and grow from it, and that we don't let the fear of repeating history hold us back, ignoring new chances that come our way. Julia and Zayden, your lives are going to unfold in beautiful, magnificent ways that you can't even imagine right now. I can say that some of the most incredible parts of my life I could have never imagined when I was 18. For instance, I only had a vague idea then of what a UU was and had no clue what a DRE was. It won't always be easy. The road will sometimes be muddy and rough, as it says in Woyaya. I hope that you will listen to the universe sing that song that is just for you, the one that says who you are, and let it guide you, especially in the difficult times. I hope that in your time here so far, you have learned how to give your gifts to the world, live into your values, ideals, and trust yourself. I hope that you are able to find moments where you feel such profound joy that even if you could change your past to make it less difficult, you wouldn't, because every step of the journey brought you to where you are. Blessed be.
Hello, I believe that means it's my turn to speak. So I shall enlighten you. Off the top of my head, I'll be reciting the bridging speech I prepared so expertly for this exact moment. All right. Now, I can't say this is a bridging year that I expected to have. I wish I could walk up to the podium in the church and tell you how my normal senior year went and how my in-person year went, but of course that hasn't happened. But this point is far too familiar to both me and everyone here listening. But it provides context for an admittedly unorthodox year. Sorry for that. It's made this year all about making the most of this year and what I could do, what I could. But I feel like that also wasn't the goal of this year for me. I wanted to make something of this year, like everyone told me to, and say I could have a satisfying year in spite of the major world crisis, but I feel like I missed the idea of bridging, searching for that kind of closure. With the grim feeling of the world hanging closer to our heads than it usually does, my focus became centered on the present and what happens from day to day. So bridging became a simple event in the far, far future. Sure, the connection to my fellow youths during these trying times was comforting, yet I couldn't tell why. I never got to see most of them in person, and we never really got to do anything impactful to me, like I had in years past. However, while there's no big trips or connection to the world that the UU are supposed to have, I still enjoyed going to my Sunday night classes like usual. I initially just chalked it up to the need for connection in this isolating time and moved on. But as the frost melted from the ground and the days grew longer, I felt a new weight to bear, the burden of transition. I will soon depart for the brick buildings where I'll be pursuing my education, which to me is quite terrifying in its own way. Hey, in the beginning of this year, I figured it would be best to create distance between me and the people I knew, since I felt like I was going to not see them ever again, or, so I thought it was normal to do something like that. But this would end up creating an opposite effect. Instead of a normal transition like I wanted to, I just ended up feeling a little more isolated and backtracking. Despite this, there was one consistent community during this time, and it was within my senior youth class. I slowly started to realize the importance of having people with you during transitions. Sure, I won't see most of you for a while, and some of you ever again, but it was important to have these connections and have the foundation of support before it happens. Bridging to me wasn't some grand culmination of 4 years like I had assumed. It would be rather a part of an individual journey that for me was important, and it was the culmination of that rather than some grand event like I wanted to be initially. Nothing more than an impactful moment for me and me alone. It's upon that I finally understand the point of bridging, and thank you for your support during that time.
Hello, now it's my turn. Thank you, Katie and Zayden, for those beautiful and touching speeches. And now I'll read mine. Hello, MUUC. I have been watching bridging services ever since I can remember. It feels surreal to be on this side of the podium, or well, this year it's the screen. I was always so excited to be a senior and to bridge, but I feel like I never really believed that it would happen. Now May of my senior year has arrived. I just feel like all of my life has flown by. How have I ended up here? How did I go from looking up to all the older kids to being an older kid? How am I graduating high school in 12 days? It's like all of high school and all of my life just slipped by without me noticing. If I learned anything from this global pandemic, it's to be grateful for this moment. COVID wiped out half of high school, my junior prom, my senior year. I lost a job that I loved, working with amazing kids on an after-school program. I missed out on many of the fun parts of school with so many of my close friends attending on opposite weeks from me. I feel as though I just didn't realize how great I had it before March of 2020. I do believe that everything happens for a reason. If there was a reason for this global shutdown, I feel as though it would be to teach us how critical it is that we appreciate the moment we are in and what we have. I feel that for all I have lost due to the pandemic, I've still gained so much. I spent the past year babysitting Allison, who I could not have asked for a better friend to spend every day with. I grew closer to my friends who I attended school with in cohort 1. I got to spend so much time with my family before I have to move away to college. I have been able to devote more time to studying the Bible and strengthening my relationship with God. And most importantly, I have learned to slow down, gaze at the flower gardens scattered throughout my neighborhood, listen to the toll of the church bells every evening at 6 o'clock. Instead of mourning what I have lost, I can appreciate how I have grown and what I still have. I also want to express my gratitude for MUUC. Coming to youth group every Sunday has been one of the highlights of my high school experience. I'm so grateful to have gotten to know all of the wonderful youth advisors, and of course our incredible RE director, Katie. I will miss our weekly chats about Grey's Anatomy. I'm so grateful to have been able to grow up in a place with open mind and open hearts. The shared value of social justice and a desire to make the world a better place will remain with me for the rest of my life. As I go out into the wider world, I will hold the 7 promises with me to keep me grounded to my core values. I look forward to what this next chapter at Northeastern brings and where life will lead me beyond college. However, I know I will always have a home here in Melrose and at MUUC. Thank you all for an amazing 18 years here at the church across from the library.
knows where we are going, but we know within. And we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Woyaya, 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 woyaya. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within. And we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Woyaya, 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 woyaya. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within. And we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Woyaya, 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 woyaya. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within. And we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Woyaya, 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 woyaya.
And now our bridging litany. We come together to celebrate Julia and Zayden at this transformative time in their lives. As we bless their journeys onward, we recognize that it has been a blessing for us to witness them growing up in this community.
Zayden and Julia, as you go forth from the innocence of childhood into the mystery of young adulthood, we feel great hope for the future, for everything that you bring to this faith by being your whole wonderful selves. We give you a forever home in Unitarian Universalism whenever and wherever you need it. Carry with you confidence that you are amazing and the strength of the roots you have developed here. We bless you as you journey onward. And now, Adam, as a representative of the youth group.
As you go forth on new adventures, we feel both sorrow and joy at our parting. For the gifts of laughter and the light of inspiration you gave us in our time together, we give you our thanks. Carry with you the good memories and our friendship. We bless you as you journey onward.
As you go forth to face new challenges, we feel enormous pride for the young adults you are becoming.
For all that you have been, and all that you will be, and all that you are right now in this moment, we give you our love.
Carry with you hope and our support.
We bless you as you journey onward.
On behalf of the congregation, as you go forth on quests for deeper truth and justice, we feel honored to share this path with you. For the unique gifts you each bring to the adult community, we give you our welcome. Carry with you the lessons you learned and the comfort of knowing you will always have a home here. We bless you as you journey onward.
As we go forth to continue to grow in mind and spirit and discover our place in this world, we feel grateful for all that this community has given us. While we cross this bridge in fellowship, we know that we have what we need to embrace this next phase of our life.
We carry with us all that you have named, our dreams of the future and strength of spirit sustained by this community. We welcome your blessing and we journey onward.
And now, on the count of 3, let's everybody unmute and give these kids a huge cheer. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations. Good for you. Thank you so much.
Even my dog came.
And now this is the closing hymn that Julia and Zayden asked for and requested for this service. Please join together in the Fire of Commitment, sung by our choir.
Oh boy.
Huh?
Let the fire of the
Julia and Zayden, we are going to miss you so much. Please remember how loved you are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Here in community, bringing alive that most primordial and original impulse, the desire to sing to the universe who we are, to celebrate and share our lives with others.